over junk, free stuff from my back porch at the shop, and we turn it into home decor that we sell on our website, which is jrvhome.com, or we use in our home to decorate with. So today we have a couple of posts that we had given to us a while back. It was a back porch offering.
We're gonna call them architectural salvage. I think, I don't even know what their original purpose was.
I'm just gonna decoupage them and then put hooks on them to make them into like wreath or sign hangers. And then we have a couple of old cutting boards that were pretty grody, so we sanded them to clean them up. And we're gonna be decoupaging them and putting handles on them. And then somebody left this sign on our back porch. So I think it was Joanne AC, says the Hive Boutique, and we are going to paint over it and decoupage that. So we're super excited about that. If you're new here and you love junk makeovers, make sure that you hit that subscribe button. All the paint and paper that we're using, you can pick up on our DIY website, which is jamirayvintage.com. And these papers we use, we actually designed ourselves. So super excited about that. I'm gonna pop on and check out comments. Everything is gonna go white today, and then we'll decoupage over it. We have found if you want a brighter, crisper decoupage image, that if you paint white underneath, you get a better image. If you want it more moody, you can go dark underneath, and then it gives you more darker tones.
So we had a brand new liquid patina in the crystal clear here, and we cannot find it anywhere. We thought we were ready to go, but we're not. But top coat is also a good alternative. I used Big Top in Saturday's live video.
Liquid patina is like,
it's nice and thick.
The secret sauce to decoupage, but this is tissue paper, so you can use Big Top or Sweet Pickens top coat. It's just not as secret saucy. I don't know.
So these are, we found these at thrift stores. I think I paid $1.50 for this one. I think it was $1 on this one here. And we always, when you can buy wood that's already cut, routed, I mean, obviously this one has a cutout on the bottom. It was scrap wood before it got these fun little feet put on here. But I always pick them up because for $1 for oak slab this big, it's a steal, and you can always sand it down, repurpose it, decoupage on it. So don't pass them up if you're looking for a fun, easy craft.
Fun and easy, that's me. I probably shouldn't have said that, but I meant crafting. All right, there's chunks that have fallen into my paint here.
I'm gonna start Wednesday off with a bang.
Woo! Well, it's Wednesday morning, and that's usually my Saturday night comments. Are you doing that taller one?
Yeah, we need to keep one brush just for...
Well, I think you brought a brush, and I brought two brushes. So
I have a brush here. We're just gonna go white. We like white under the decoupage paper, just because it's going to give you a nice, like, bright background. Because the decoupage paper, it's only 18-pound paper. It's thin enough that it will pick up whatever color you have behind it. So if you want to do like a fun blue or pinks or whatever, it's going to cake that tone underneath.
Yeah.
So we're going white because we want them to look like...
sorry.
No, you're good.
I was going to read a comment and I thought you were done, and then...
I could keep going all day. Interrupt me. Go ahead.
I'm the interrupting cat. Okay, it says... 56 Vintage Market says, I never think to look for those at thrift stores. When I am junking at thrift stores, one of the things, especially when I have a product that I want to try out, I'm looking for flat surfaces. So anytime we see a box or anything with a great big flat surface, I think, oh, that would be great for decoupage, stamping, transfers, our molds that we use, because a nice flat surface is really just a blank canvas. So it's less about what the item is and more about the surfaces, and can I transform those surfaces with paint and products. So I try to think about that as I'm going through the thrift store, and it really opens my eyes to things that I might have like overlooked. Plus these boards would actually just be gorgeous if they were also just, if you use milk paint as a stain and hemp oil, you could just make them look like gorgeous old cutting boards. Yeah,
just sand them back down a little bit so that because usually cutting boards a lot of times have oils and things on them. So we like to just sand them, give them a little bleach treatment, and then we paint them up or use the hemp oil, the hemp oil and the milk paint for stain. We just did a video on that actually. If you guys want to do food safe stains, or if you're doing like a table and you want to make sure that it's food safe, a lot of people ask us what they can use on kids' furniture, because you know kids bite furniture.
Yeah, don't they?
It works. I mean, The milk paint is bio-certified, USDA bio-certified, food safe. So, and over at Sweet Pickens, they're using like food grade type products for that. So.
Yeah. These are no longer going to be bio-certified because we're using real paint and sealer on them.
These ones.
They're going to be decorative.
These are going to be decorative risers for
for
your beautiful centerpiece on your table or your coffee table or your entry table or your kitchen island. You know, sky's the limit. You got a flat surface, put a riser on it.
So I just want to make sure my paint job is smooth. It doesn't have to be perfect. I'm going to go ahead and start drying this so we can start decoupaging, and then Zeb's just going to keep painting stuff white.
Yep.
We did a candlestick on a channel member live a few weeks ago, and it was really fun to decoupage that. So you don't have to just decoupage flat surfaces. You can also do round cylindrical surfaces. You just have to rip it and tear it a little bit to get it to work. It could be a makeup riser.
I'm trying to decide. I'm looking at the papers over there. I'm trying to decide what paper I want to use because we have a nice big blank canvas here, essentially. I don't know if you guys saw Saturday night, Jamie just put decoupage paper on a canvas.
You missed a side.
And it sold very quickly.
Yep. We also have retailers that carry our paper. You can go to jrvwholesale.com. Make sure if you are looking for something specific that you contact the retailer first because we carry hundreds of products and not every retailer carries all the products, which is fine. So just make sure you check with them before you go out.
So if you want to find it easy, the retailer map is linked in the description of every single video we do. Are we using beadboard or white swan today?
So English charms, as I tried to make a riser, but the wood wouldn't stay glue on. Would a brad nailer split the wood? So what we like to do is we like to pre-drill the holes, and then we use, what are those screws called?
The dowel screws?
Dowel screws. And when you buy, we actually sell bun feet and tray feet on our website. They come with dowel screws in them, and you can screw those in. A brad nailer, I don't know that it would really hold it that much better. I mean, maybe temporarily, but for a long-term solution, a screw is always best. Right? Am I right?
Yes.
Okay, there we go. I was just making sure. Zeb was silent over there.
I was just thinking about like what we have in stock for tray feet since we're doing this. I'm like, oh, Ty's already super busy. I might have to crank out some tray feet.
Thank you. Caitlin just dropped that retailer map there. This is also, I mean, really, you could do the same thing even without feet. You could just use an old board or whatever. Oh, another option too would be to just take and put long, skinny, like pieces of wood on the bottom just to raise it up. It doesn't necessarily have to be feet.
Yeah.
And that you could most definitely glue along that base and then brad nail it in, because that gives you more of a, it's not just one little foot that could get wonky, it's one long strip.
So this one here has little rubber stops on the bottom that you can just pick up at the hardware store for like furniture and stuff.
So this on this, but what I'm saying, another option would be to take strips of 1x and put it on each side so it's a long area, glue it, then brad nail it, and that would give you a great riser. The problem with just gluing and nailing one little foot is every time you move it, that foot's gonna give a little bit because the glue, while it does hold, isn't perfect, but if you have a long piece, it's less likely to weeble wobble. So that would be my suggestion. Okay, I need to get something decoupaged on here.
All right, so that one's a little smaller. We have tons of papers that we haven't even used. We have 15 designs that we came out with, and probably by, I would say, end of April, beginning of May, we'll have a couple more fun, kind of summer themed designs out.
I'm going to get the scissors and cut this in half. So I was thinking, I'll use a map on mine, but would you use the French grain sack?
You're gonna use the map? I love the map.
I know, because you made the map.
That particular map is watermarked.
Oh, that's right. That was the misprint.
That was the misprint on it.
Okay, no map. It was a good idea.
I mean, it has our Jamie Ray Vintage logo watermarked on it, but...
Fine. We'll do some sheep. Never sad
Hey, I
about
did the
sheep.
sheep on the book the other night, and it turned out amazing.
Okay, so I'm gonna use, oh, this is the misprint of the sheep.
If you go in the middle, you can miss it. So
But I didn't want
so
the
we
middle.
have all of our sample prints here, and the ones that are good are at the shop. So we're like, okay, what sample was good, what sample wasn't.
Sorry guys, I am not winning.
I feel like they're usable papers.
Well, maybe, but I don't want to today.
You don't want to cut around
I'm
it?
not in the mood to cut around that. You keep them here because you want to. Let's see.
So I'm painting the handle on this. I could have left it black, but I feel like if I wet distress it down on this metal, it's going to give it a really good aged effect.
All right, I'm going to go with this one.
It's tricky though, that's like the last spot.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to decoupage it, then sand the edges, and then dark wax the edges. All right, so I'm using the French grain sack one. I have cut it, and I'm going to cut it again.
All right, I'm gonna have to let this, I'm gonna put some more paint on there and I'm gonna leave it alone because it's metal and I'm overworking it trying to cover stuff up. All right, sometimes you just gotta walk away and put a second coat on.
Walk away, bud. All right, can I have a brush that's in front of you?
Oops.
You want to paint one of
Here,
those?
this one is the one I got for
Oh, okay.
the,
So we've
But-
poured out our top coat, and you want to do that no matter what you're using, because you don't want to contaminate your entire piece or entire container. Because here's the thing, this is all natural. So think, you know, food. Don't eat it, but think food. When you bring pieces and put it in there and cross-contaminate, you don't know what you're getting into it. So if you don't pour it out like this and you leave it out, and there's contaminants in it, it can go bad. You can get color in there that you don't want, like you think that your paint's dry and it's not, and then you get white paint in there, and the next time you use it over black, you get a milky look, and you think that maybe your product has gone bad, but what really has happened is your product's been contaminated. So you sometimes will see us dip straight in, but I'm assuming liability when I do that.
sometimes, a lot of times you'll see us
So
just-
I'm showing you the
dive right in
correct
there.
way, which is to pour out, no matter what kind of top coat you're using, pour out what you think you'll need and go from there. And do not be tempted to pour it back. So better to add a little more later than to pour out too much, then pour back, then contaminate your entire situation, then email Caitlin and say, my top coat's gone bad, and then we have to ask qualifying questions. Ask me how I know that happens, because I've totally done it myself. You're like, oh no, what did I do? All right, so I'm gonna put this
Well,
on here.
we're kind of spoiled out west. It's a pretty dry climate. We don't have a lot of things get rusty or go moldy out here. So we don't, I mean, be more careful if you live in a humid area because it'll happen fast.
Okay, so I'm just using product liberally on top and below. And I'm gonna let it dry naturally, because I've got other things that I can work on. And then I'll just come back and sand the edges to get rid of the extra paper that I don't need. And then we'll have some fun with some dark
I'll
wax.
go, give me just, well,
You'll go what?
I'm gonna go grab you some sandpaper, but in a minute.
Okay, it's fine, it's gotta dry.
So sometimes on rungs like this, like let's say you're painting a chair, this was a chair leg. What I would probably do is run my brush, because I've got this big long section here, but on the detail, run my brush sideways because it gets down in the cracks a lot easier. And then if I wanted it to flow, I'd come back over the top.
I mean, in this case, we're just base coating it, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
Donna from Crescent Moon says they're so humid there. Don't I know it, friend? When I went to boot camp that first time, part of what made me a crazy person, aside
Delaware,
from,
right? Is that,
What did I say?
I don't know that you ever said.
Oh, it was at
You
Delaware.
just said there.
That place. It was weird because I'm used to being out west, so I'm not used to so many trees and I have claustrophobia. But then the extreme humidity, they said it was more humid than it had been all summer, also made me feel like the sky was falling. So my anxiety was kind of like, because I'm just not used to it.
Well, and she also uses the mountains as like a reference to where she's
I
at.
had no idea where I was going. Because
She's like, oh, these are the Salt Lake Mountains. Oh, these are the Provo Mountains. Oh,
Yeah.
these are the
I had no idea which direction.
these are the Park City Mountains. You get rid of her mountains and she's like, I don't know where I'm at.
I was very disoriented. While the trees are beautiful, I can't. Maybe if I was used to it, but I'm not. If you ever come out west, if you haven't been out west, you will be like, oh my heavens, there's mountains and you can see for miles. And then, but not like Midwest where there's no mountains. You see for miles and then there's a landmark. It's also weird when we go to like Texas and stuff and I'm like, wait a second, that never ends. It just keeps going. I love the different various landscapes of the United States. Sometimes it's all about what you get used to. I still don't like the snow, in case anybody was wondering. I've lived here for many years. Don't love
Okay,
it.
base coat's on that. Gonna do another one here while my tray dries.
So we went kind of farmhousey with the last one. Well, let's
I don't
go
think
French
we've
farmhouse.
used. I don't think we've used the chickens yet.
Well, we are gonna solve
Here,
that.
show them the whole paper first before you go cutting
Is
it up.
that not gorgeous?
Yeah, I'll show 'em.
Oh, sorry, am I not showing it appropriately? I
You
should
only
have cut
showed.
that.
You only showed part of it.
I realized I should have cut that first.
So one of our favorite ones. It's got kind of like a French vibe because this is more like a what's that pattern called? Toile. On the trees and things. But then you know, chickens.
I had fun layering it. If you had seen this picture before I layered all this stuff on, there's actually a lake and a river, and Photoshop is fun. All right, I've got to commit because I didn't cut this ahead of time. So
That's okay. That's the way I do it, is I just place it on there, because you're cutting the paper up anyway.
Yeah.
And then I just tear the edges off, because I feel like I don't have to be so accurate with the cutting, and you know, I'm going to sand it at the end anyway on most of the things I decoupage, so.
Oh, I kind of wish I'd done that side because I like his tail, but it is what it is. Oh, shoot. Seb, can you help me?
Yeah, maybe.
I need to, like, get it smooth.
I think you got it.
No. Just need some Botox.
It'll, once you get the second coat on top, and I haven't tried it yet, because, you know, we made decoupage paper, but we're by far not the experts, right?
They use irons.
Yeah, you can iron it afterwards, after it's all dry, with like a piece of cloth in between your
Yeah, but you
iron.
don't put it on wet.
No. But it works really well. There is a method where you can just iron on decoupage paper, but I gotta research that, and then we'll probably show you
We'll Google it.
once I get adequate at it, I'll show you how.
Once we get adequate. That's all
We're
right.
adequate DIYers. We dabble in a little bit of this and a little bit of that, and we're experts at nothing.
I'm expert at buying junk.
Yeah?
I'm not expert at organizing said junk, but I'm working on it. Okay. Sorry, little chickens, you're losing your feet.
They'll be all right. They felt nothing.
The chickens felt nothing.
No chickens were harmed in the making of this tray.
Would a beater work to smooth the paper? A beater?
Maybe she's tried to say brayer.
Oh, maybe.
So we've used brayers in the past. I find it still wrinkles up a little bit.
You don't want to rip the paper. Like, you don't want to overwork it. It's better to just walk away.
It's very thin. Like the fact that we can get these kind of prints like this with the thin paper and the colors and the details is pretty crazy.
We have a very like top of the line computer, and we're actually going to buy an even bigger one because we use really high resolution images, and our computer's like, slow down, too much data. All right, that's good. Do that for a minute.
Yeah, when we're working with these files, they're huge files. Because I don't like to dumb, and there's ways you can get around that, but I don't like to dumb down the image. We want it to be super crisp and bright.
Because the nature of tissue paper is that it does, like, it's really hard to get crisp in the first place, so you want to start with the best quality image and then go from there.
All right, so we got to, did you show them that, or did you just put it back
I
there?
just put it back there. They can see, they saw it while I was doing it. I'll bring it back. It's coming back. Saran wrap to smooth it. Like when it's dry, or when does the saran wrap come out, Anna?
See, that's the thing about decoupage. There's like 100 different ways to do it. We go with the super basic, put it on there, sand it, and it looks great.
I go with the same method that I've been using to decoupage since I was a small child. Back when I used Mod Podge. Sticky, goopy, doesn't lay down flat. There is definitely a difference between products. I'll just tell you that. The other thing I like you can use the top coat and the big top for decoupaging. If you're doing like fabric, or if you're decoupaging, let's say you're using wallpaper or whatever, that's where the liquid patina really shines because it holds it on there. And we've done many, like we did those dressers for the boys.
Yep.
And we did actual calendar pages, and never, the dresser broke, but those calendar pages did not come off. There's, I think it's
These
on the
are
back
so tall,
portion.
they don't even fit all on the screen unless I move the camera crazy. So, these are what these look like, and she's going to dry them up.
Donna says she embraces the wrinkles.
All right, I'm gonna
I
go
like
get a
them
piece of
because
sandpaper.
I distress them.
And then, well, you decoupage
All right.
that one.
I'm actually, you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to let you decoupage these situations. I've already had the experience of doing a cylindrical situation. It is a little bit, this is like next level decoupage when you don't have a flat surface, but it can be done. But I haven't had breakfast yet, so I don't know that I have the amount of patience required to decoupage a not flat surface. Caitlin says she wants to try decoupaging next week. My sister's coming in town, so I'm sure there's going to be many crafting shenanigans. Donna says, I remember that dresser. Yep, it's still around. It's on the back porch of the shop. We're probably going to do something else with it because we don't have dressers in the boys' rooms right now. I'm going to let you do these, Zeb. This one is dry. Well, dry enough.
Oops.
Wait, what'd you step on?
This paper you're just
Oh.
throwing back here.
I was like, I swear I cleaned up before we went live. Okay. I'm going to keep drying this if you want to start decoupaging this one, and then I'll sand those other ones. Kaylin says she needs funky decoupage paper from 60s, 70s. I like the wallpaper, the purple wallpaper decoupage paper. I don't know what Zeb called it. Zeb gave everything weird French names.
Wallpaper.
This is for you.
For what? Oh, did you
Decoupage
dry it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't want to I told him I hadn't eaten breakfast and I was not mentally prepared.
You weren't
to
ready?
decoupage a cylindrical surface.
Okay. Now I gotta pick out a paper then.
But you don't require breakfast for patience.
Some days, depends on who I'm dealing with.
You're good at keeping it together on camera though. Does anybody else get hangry? Or is it just us? At our house, we always have lots of easy-to-go snacks, and if you come to the shop, we keep food at the shop too, because ain't nobody got time to be hungry.
So this is handwritten out of an old notebook. Someone was composing. If I could read notes, I'd, maybe try to play that for you. But 3 years of piano lessons that I didn't want to take netted no ability to read notes when I was a kid.
Zeb was going to try to teach himself piano.
I do love the piano. I loved playing it. I just didn't like having to go, I was like 9, 10, 11 when I took piano lessons, and I wanted to play baseball and run around outside.
Look at that. We learned that from our followers, that you can rest it like that.
So you gotta be careful with ours though, because the cord's twisty and it'll like twist it over.
Okay, well, it's working right now.
Okay, so I think this is gonna be tricky to get this on here, but I'm going to go with this music notes because I don't think you'll be able to see like a whole butterfly or a whole chicken or whatever on this tall skinny. So we're gonna do a repeating pattern.
What did I do the last time? I don't know. We did layer decoupage on our tile coaster last night and Ladies Craft. So fun. I haven't made coasters in a while. Coasters are one of those things I think are cute, but not something we use. If the surface can't hold up to a drink or beverage, it can't hold up to my house. But we also do, like on my nightstand, I just have a grain sack over it, which is good because the other day I was dunking Oreo cookies and I may or may not have spilled some on my grain sack. And yes, I eat in bed because I watch TV in bed.
That's how she winds down and falls asleep.
That's how I turn my brain
She
off at
actually
night.
can't really fall asleep very well if the TV's not on.
Yeah.
Me, I'm the opposite. As soon as she falls asleep, I turn the TV off and then I can fall asleep. If the
Well-
TV's on, I will literally watch it all night.
We put the sleep timer on, and
I
Zeb
get-
will do that.
I get to a certain point where I'm like so tired, I don't even care what I'm watching. I'm just like watching stuff. So if it's on like an educational type channel, I'll just binge that until like 4 a.m.
And if I don't have the TV on, I'll be up for 3 or 4 hours. So we've just learned that we just put the TV on, and I like roll over and like focus on sleeping. And then as soon as I fall asleep, which usually doesn't take long, then Zeb just turns the TV off and he goes to sleep.
All right, this might be a little wrinkly in some of the cracks. Might have been optimum to just like rip this.
That's how I did mine the other day.
But I think I'm just gonna wrinkle it, and then when I put the top coat back over the top of it, then I'll use the brush to kind of, you know, tear it in little places.
So something that I thought might be fun, Zeb, is after we do this, if you could get it dry, putting a transfer, like flowers or something on it. I don't know.
We will see. Do you have scissors? We're gonna need scissors in just a second here.
My husband hates that I fall asleep to stuff, but my mind will run constantly. I told him, hey, I have the laptop with my headphones. You get silence, deal with it. Oh. So Kristen from She Paints is on here, and she says she's like Zeb, and her husband Mike is like me. It's all about making it work. And I cannot like fall asleep with things in my ears. So fun fact, some of you guys might have heard this story before, but when Dion and I first met, we were roommates at boot camp, and Dion likes to chit chat at night, and I was so tired and mentally like just exhausted, and so she always had a hard time winding down, so we'd chit chat at night while we were trying to fall asleep, and all of a sudden I just roll over in bed and fall asleep, and that was before I found out about grounding mats. And I snored.
That's not what we wanted. I dipped.
Don't use that.
I'm gonna wash it real quick.
Not only did I fall asleep while Dion was she's like, all of a sudden I just look over there and Jamie be asleep, and then she starts snoring. Same thing happens with Debbie, because Debbie has a little studio apartment, so whenever I go and it's just me, we usually wind up like schoolgirls, up all night talking before we fall asleep. And she's like, I'll be mid-sentence, and I look over there, Jamie's passed out. I have an on switch and I have an off switch. And when I fall asleep, I'm done. So when I'm with Dion and Debbie, I don't need the TV. They just talk me to sleep. They're both very soothing. I'm excited to see Debbie.
Yep, we're going to boot camp in April.
Yep, Zeb and I are going to be teaching a class about live sales, and then we're taking the kids. So we won't be at the entire boot camp. We're just going to come teach our class, but because we're going anyways, it happens to be spring break for our kids, so we're going to take them and enjoy some beach time, some pool time, some sunshine, and Roberto's Taco Shop, which I already looked. I know exactly where it is in proximity to our Airbnb, so I'm super excited. I'm sure we may wind up being at boot camp a little bit more than just our class. We'll see. But we've got our kids, and we haven't vacationed in 2 years.
Yeah, about that.
So we figure
since the farmhouse started.
Yeah, and then there was the situation. So if you don't know what the situation is, I'm sure somebody will tell you in comments. We try not to say the word so we don't get flagged. I love this.
Okay, so can you guys kind of, I'll show you up close in a second, but I'm just using the brush, and it's tearing it a little bit, but it's pushing it down, and I'm gonna have a couple little wrinkles on here, but I think if I put enough top coat on there that we can just work with that.
It's gonna be amazing. All right, did you say you got me sand? Oh, is it over there? Would you count it too?
Yeah, I have worn sandpaper and brand new sandpaper.
What are we going to do? I bought for the shop these rectangle pads sandpaper that I've been wanting to try out. Jean says it does work pretty good. Oh, this is still a little
damp.
Little damp. Maybe I need to. It's all right. I want a little bit of a worn edge, but that's a little much less. I love the colors on the chickens too. Like they're bright, but muted at the. They have like the perfect Instagram filter on them. If that's even a thing. I wonder if this heat gun works kind of like ironing. Is it hot?
Alright, so this is
March can be wintry in San Diego.
Yeah, it can. It gets chilly. But you know, chilly in San Diego is like a summer day here in Utah. Like if it gets overcast and windy and it's like 58 degrees outside, I'm like, oh my goodness, this is my optimum temperature.
We like to go when y'all think it's cold because the beaches are empty. I don't go to the beach in California in the summer because all the Californians are there. But in the spring and winter, everybody's like, oh, it's chilly. And I'm like, oh.
We've actually got pretty good weather here the last couple days. It randomly had a little snow flurry last night, but it's supposed to be in the high 40s today. And I think by the end of the week, we'll be up in the 60s, high 60s, like gorgeous weather.
So Round Top, Kai is coming up the end of March, beginning of April. So we literally go to Round Top. We get home in time for Easter. We have a few days to catch our breath, 3 days exactly, to get on top of work situation. And then we leave Wednesday for California. We teach Thursday morning. We'll be in California on Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Go to church with Debbie on Sunday and then drive home. So Debbie's church is like at 10-ish.
I don't know.
I don't know. We always like to go. When we leave town, we like to try and go to church with our friends. And her church is fun. So if anybody's going to boot camp and you want to go to church, you can come with us. I'm sure she'll make an announcement.
I wonder if they're still doing it outdoors.
I don't know if they are or not. They have a live band, and we don't have live bands in our church. So like the kids
We got an organ or a
so
pianist.
excited.
Organist or a pianist when we sing.
Yep. Sorry, I'm just pushing this down because the heat gun kind of makes the top coat bubble a little bit. So I'm just pushing it down as it dries. Again, if you were not live, you would not be using a heat gun, so you're probably fine. So I'm just trying to get this extra.
So I don't know about this. It might have been, I think on the other one, I'm gonna try to rip it in like pieces and just do like a random.
You have to massage it, Zeb.
Well, the brush is doing all the massaging.
Okay. I will fix it.
Can
I borrow that brush for a second?
Yep.
As I rip it out of your
You might get white on there though,
It's
because I've
fine.
got a lot of white on this piece that I'm interacting with.
It's fine. My phone went to sleep.
No comments.
No, it died.
It died.
Oh, because last night it was plugged in, but
We
it
should
wasn't
probably
charging.
go find something so we can answer comments.
Sorry about that.
Now I'll have to look like this at the camera weirdly to see if I can
We can make
see them as they scroll by super fast. All right, so I'm almost ready for its close-up. I'll show you guys in just a sec. I feel like this worked better where it's really detailed up here. There's lots of extra paper because it's not quite as big around as like right here. So I might have to patch it right there.
Just distress it.
All right, I'm breaking the paper up now, so I think I'm just gonna, it'll be what it is.
It'll be awesome. Can
And
I
then,
borrow some of that awesome sauce?
yeah. Hold
Oh,
on.
it's blue.
Yeah, it's getting blue
Here,
and
give me
white.
that clean brush right there.
I think that'll work.
No, I want it.
All right.
Although it's probably contaminated in the bowl.
Yeah, I've been dipping and
Look what you did. All right.
see where I was overworking it. You can just, if you get that and you're trying the same method, just patch it. Just patch it a little.
Get patchy.
So that'll look better once it dries up. It still has a lot of the top coat over the
Pro
top
tip.
of it.
Buy 2 of every sheet when you're working on a project, just in case. Especially if you have a decoupage a lot. Worst case scenario, you have an extra sheet. Best case, if you need an extra sheet, you got it.
Okay. I'm gonna let this dry, or I'll put it over here with Jamie so you can dry it in a second.
You gonna start that one? So why don't you do a busier print? You want to use the rest of the chicken print on that?
I was gonna use the rest of this print so that
Oh,
they
so
match
they're
in case
matching.
someone bought both.
Okay, I'm down with that.
Because you know, they will inevitably be sold on the website eventually, or in the shop. Let's see how this goes. Round 2. Now that I've done one, you know, every piece, especially if you're doing like something that's got this much detail and round, is gonna turn out a little bit different, or you know, be a little bit different, like when Jamie did the candlestick the other day. That was.
All right, so I'm gonna
That was
put
a
one
good
more
job on
coat
that.
now that I've like ripped off these edges and let it dry. Just 'cause I really want it
Did
to
you
be
give them the
sunk
close
down.
up yet?
No, I will. It's not done.
It's not done. No close up till it's done today.
No, I'll give them a close up.
I do like that it's adding a little bit of texture to this.
All right, this is where we're at thus far. And we're going to, so to give you an idea of what's happening next. I'm gonna walk around because I don't have long arms. I have T-Rex arms.
Yep, little T-Rex arms.
So these are the hooks that we buy. I think we get them on Amazon. You can get them at your local hardware store. These are gonna go on these. So, and actually, Zeb, where you messed up, you just put the hook there, done.
Yeah, that'll work.
And then these we sell at JRVhome.com. These are the large pulls, and they are going to go on the board like this. Or actually, do they go out so you can grab it? Yeah, they go out like this, right? So you can grab the board.
So
That's the
fair
situation.
warning, these bases are not heavy and big. If you get these and you have the hook, you might just want to put like a real light wreath or something on there.
Don't put anything cast iron on it.
Yeah, it'll fall over. Unless you anchor it. And then
We'll put that in the
you've
description.
got room to anchor it, but on these particular pieces, they're tall and spindly for decoration.
For decorative situation. All right, I'm coming across the side here to rip this paper off.
All right, this one I was trying, on the last one I was delicately rolling it around. This one I'm just gonna go for it. We're just gonna send it.
You're such a delicate flower, Zeb. I'll get back to comments as soon as my phone turns back on. Oops. Oops.
All right, and I don't want too much extra paper, so I'm gonna cut this off about right there.
And I don't like a crisp edge, which if you like a crisp edge, you could just cut it to fit. But not me. Because if you don't cut it perfectly straight, so I'm playing with this.
Yep.
If you don't cut it perfectly straight, it looks weird. So I like a nice ripped edge. When you were a kid, did you ever like go to cut paper and you just fold it and you lick it and then pull it apart? Oh, only me?
I never licked it after like first grade because one time I got a paper cut on my tongue.
Ooh, I never had that.
So after that, I just went to,
Scissors?
well, so what I do is I just crease it super hard with my pencil and then bend it a bunch and crease it a bunch and then done.
How did you get I only licked the folded part. Did you lick the part that was not folded?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't remember the exact details. I was like 6 years old. I just remember a paper cut and I was like,
Traumatizing.
no more paper licking for me.
This is still a little damp, it's all right.
All right,
almost
so
there.
just to show you before close up, I mean, all of the details pretty much gone. It just looks like a blob. But once I add this second coat,
It's such a pretty blob. That's what we do here. We teach you guys how to make blobs.
but once you get the second piece of, or layer of top coat on here, or your decoupage medium, preferably liquid patina, if you're good at knowing where your supplies are at.
Oh, I know where my supplies are at. They're at the shop.
So the point of the second layer is to get it, the first layer, kind of stick it where you want it, and then this is going to help it really adhere and saturate the paper. That way it's all basically just, you know, top coated on there, and the decoupage paper is just like a fun decorative layer in between. That it's like micarta for handles. Oh, we got a channel member. Did you see that? Oh, your phone's dead.
I did not.
We'll have to come back
I
to
will
that.
circle back.
Well, welcome, new channel member.
We'll come back to that. Try not to say circle back because apparently that's another popular phrase by somebody else and I want to be unique. All right. But every time I try to make myself not say something, I feel like I say it more.
That's usually the case.
Not very good at controlling. I bought a shirt that says like, my heart is good, but this mouth is one of our, we have a new graphic tee that says that. We actually have lots of great new graphic tees. Go to jrvhome.com and check them out. But one of them is like, my heart is good, but my mouth. I was like, that is so me. I also have a nice one that says, if you can be anything, be kind. And I try to remind myself of that often. That one's in homage to my friend Kat, because she loves that saying. I think it was said by the Dalai Lama, and I made her a sign that had that on there for Christmas or birthday or something. Okay, there's my chickens.
I think the quote on there says, in a world where you can be anything, be kind.
Oh, yeah.
Or be nice or something
No,
like
it
that.
says it, where you can be, something like that, be kind. I probably totally butchered it. All right, that's the next one.
It needs
Right.
more drying.
More drying,
Yep.
okay.
Not quite dry.
All right,
Didn't get voted off the island quite yet.
okay. So what I'm thinking about on this one is just doing, I'm just gonna put decoupage medium in the middle and then let it dry and then rip it off. I could make a pattern, but I don't want to. That sounds like a lot of work for a Wednesday morning. Okay. So this one.
So you guys, so tomorrow's video, we usually alternate back and forth. We have been working at the shop. Jamie's decided to completely blow it up. It's gonna be 100% different than the last video
I
you
would say
saw.
100%. But I need a few weeks to complete it.
It's, yeah, so this video Thursday is gonna be at home again. Lots of fun new stuff to show you though.
Yeah, the thing is, we're blowing up the shop and we also got so much new product in. A lot of it's already up on the website, you can check it out. But I'm like, I don't want to miss anything, so we decided to do it at home. So in 2 weeks, we'll have a new shop tour, so that one will be good.
Yep.
All right, I think, oh, that is gonna be pretty. This decoupage paper Debbie is using on her video, it's probably gonna come out today, because her videos come out on Wednesday, I don't know. But she showed a little teaser and I shared it on my Instagram and my Facebook. And she used this paper. This is the butterflies.
Actually, I think I counted 3 different
Well, yeah,
styles
she
of
did.
paper that she used.
You know Debbie, she's a mix and matcher always. But she used, I know this is one of them because she's got these big oversized papillons on here, which are butterflies. So I'm just using a butter knife to go around the edge. Never done this before, so we'll see if this is a new technique.
All right, I'm actually pretty happy with how this one came out. It was a little quicker, you know. Second time around, you're usually faster. Third time, you know, if I had 40 of these to do, I'd be a whiz at it by the time I was done.
Get a procedure down.
Yep.
This seems working all right. Again, if you wanted a perfect edge, you could cut a pattern.
All right, this. Do you want me to peek on this so we can show them?
Yeah, it needs to be distressed, and then I want to go around the edge with a dark wax
Okay.
on both of those.
All right.
Oops, this one's ripping right there. Not where I wanted it to rip, that's okay. Watch that down.
Never underestimate the power of a kitchen butter knife. It's like, honestly, it's like one of the best tools ever. Like I keep one in the garage, like an old one for doing various random things.
We actually use kitchen utensils quite often, which is why I do not have a matching set. I gave that up many years ago.
Well, between us using them for crafts and the kids using them for construction digging tools outside.
Yeah, sometimes it's just like, you know what, it's fine.
So on the paper, if you're gonna use a heat gun, man, do not hold it in the same spot. You gotta keep that going.
Get
You
there,
do not
guys.
want to overheat it or burn your paper.
I just kind of use this to rip against as I'm going around this edge, and that seems to be working better than scoring it. So, pro tip, choose this as a...
Also, sometimes if you, oh, that's cool. Here.
It's not perfect, don't show, but push it.
It's fine. They can. This is the process. Check out those butterflies, though.
If you're running out of utensils, just pick them up while you're out dunking.
Yep, we see them all the time in the thrift stores. There was a couple years there where all we had was thrift store silverware.
Oh, we still have it. If I see a big old bag of silverware at a yard sale or at the thrift store, I'm picking it up. I'm not leaving it there. Okay, so we're gonna let this dry. I actually think I'm gonna second coat while that's drying. Do we have a white paintbrush? I need to second coat this edge because it was kind of shiny.
I'm gonna, well.
Can I have that flat brush over there?
Yeah. Also, I'm probably gonna let you do the dark wax how you want on
Okay,
here.
be careful. Don't rip it. Are you having a situation? I really like that one, so please don't break it.
Actually, I think it's fine if you're going to be waxing it. I think we'll be good.
Does it need more decoupage, medium?
No. I mean, was that the first time it had been heat gunned, or did you go over it already?
I second coated the other one, so that probably needs one more coat now that you've got it how you want it. And then let it dry. I think that the other one is the one I second coated already. Here's this. You need more.
Yeah.
Medium. I'm just going over this edge here. It was a little streaky because we only did one coat and it was kind of shiny. It had been painted before. So I'm just touching it up, making it a little bit more solid, and then we'll wet distress it and probably maybe do some clear and dark wax on this too, or maybe just a wet distress and clear wax. I don't know. We'll see. Another trick you could do to kind of meld the middle to the edge would be to white wax, clear wax, like wet distress the edge, clear wax, and then just white wax in between. I love DIY paint because it sticks to almost anything, which is good because I don't have patience to do a million different types of paints.
Do lots of prep.
Yeah. Well, or no, any prep at all. Okay. That's good. We're gonna let that dry.
All right. All right, one more. Am I putting handles on these?
Yeah, I was going to.
Okay. I'll let this dry for a minute before I hit it with the heat gun.
Okay, you want to pass that to me? This I feel like needs to dry some more before I distress it. There's like a little air bubble situation happening here. You don't want air bubbles. Okay.
There you go.
Well, I like to go over the
get my
wrinkles.
drill. I'll be right back.
Okay. I like to go over the wrinkles and make it look old and aged. You don't. If you don't like to do that, that's fine. Do I have comments back? Ooh, I do. Okay. Sorry guys, I'm gonna pull up comments now that my phone is no longer dead. Oh yes, this decoupage paper is JRV Decoupage. It's JRV Papers is what we call it for short, but we designed this ourselves. So we're not just retailers, we're designers, and then we have retailers that carry it as well. I'll show it to you in a second. If you're doing this, be very careful that your paper's dry. I'm living risky business here. All right, this one you can go ahead and
I can handle that one.
carefully handle it. Carefully because it's still...
So you can pick these up at JRV Home if you want some awesome cast iron pulls. They work good for drawers or
Caitlin, would you also, if
for,
you're take 4 out?
yeah, whoops.
That was, I will say he was speaking, he was not yelling, he was speaking with force, trying to get me here on time, and I was in a hurry. Now, you're right, this is twisted.
Yeah. Okay, so We're gonna lose a little bit of our design. These would be great just as risers if you didn't want to put any handle on them, but I think with the handle on them, it's just gonna make them that much extra.
We're extra around here at JRV. And then I'll bring that back and dark wax the edge. How wide are the screw holes in the pools? How far apart are these?
Oh, I'll have to grab, they look like they're 3.5-inch pulls.
We'll grab them.
I'll measure for you in just a
We
second.
have the smaller ones in our pantry, but those have been on back order, so I ordered these larger ones because the cast iron hardware is really popular. It's always on back order, so I order as much as I can, as often as I can.
Question though, did you only grab 3 pulls or did I put one
We
somewhere?
had, there's one right over there.
Oh, okay.
We have 4. You can also stencil over the top of the decoupage, is really fun. If you painted, so what I would do is if you painted dark underneath, then put the decoupage paper on, then you get a darker image, and then stencil in white, and that white would really stand out against the darker paper because you painted it dark underneath. Hopefully that heart shirt but my mouth or whatever is up on the website. I know it's in the shop, so if you can't find it right now, I'll link it when we're no longer live, but it should be, if you search graphic tees, it should be there.
Okay. So this was just a cutting board, used up cutting board destined for the trash. Now it's got these fun little risers feet on there and a couple little handles. It's like a fun tray now.
I need the
Everything's fun today. I don't know why.
So fun. I need this.
You need the new sandpaper.
Yeah.
But this also had like a burn mark over here where it probably got too close to the stove for a while. So, you know, for $1, and then how much are the
$3.95 each.
so $3.95, $1 for the board that we thrifted. The decoupage paper 6, you could probably get about 4 boards this size out of one piece of decoupage paper. So
And it takes very,
with,
not a lot of paint.
yeah, not maybe maybe an ounce and a half of paint.
All right.
And same with the top coat that we used.
Okay, there's that all distressed and ready for handles. I'm gonna go get the dark wax to do the edges.
Okay. Oh. These have like little Ziploc bags. If you guys have watched the channel for very long, you know I just tear bags open. I can't stand messing with those.
You know
the
what?
little Ziplocs.
I think I'm gonna paint the feet on that later too, so they match.
I'm gonna use.
Where's that butter knife?
All right, so I am just eyeballing this. You know, it's pretty close.
Your eyeballs are amazing. Until they're not, and later on we're like, ooh.
This is a hard enough wood. I might want to like
Wanna pre-drill
pre-drill
it?
this. I hope I don't split it. It'd be okay if it was $1.
Oh, but it's so pretty now. So finished, we sell these in like the $25 to $30 range. I know we always get asked what we're gonna sell things for, so.
Yeah, some of it depends on size. Some of it depends on how much effort it took to put in there, how long it took us to do it.
And then it depends on how awesome it is. So I want this to be kind of aged and decrepit, so I did not clear wax it first. So you can see now we've got that dark edge. You just take your sandpaper. You can bring back some of the lighter paint.
Did you see that?
You've got a really nice aged edge. So
All right. So did you see what I was doing there? I just measured with the thing. You know, if you're gonna be a true eyeballer, will get themselves a story stick. You know, just and now at least they're the same on both sides. They line up.
But true, if you're an OG eyeballer. And the bottom on these is fine, but if they were gross underneath, we would probably paint those too. It's usually a good determining factor. It's just half wet underneath because we cleaned it. If you let this sit on here a super long time, it would not come off.
So the thing I love about these cast iron pulls that we carry is a lot of times you'll get pulls from the store and they don't have screws that come with them. They just give you the pulls and then you're like stuck trying to find the right size screw that's black to go with them.
Tell me the other reason you love these.
Because they're cast iron. From the front. I love stuff where you can screw in from the front.
Yeah, like if you have to go in through the backside, it's really hard to get it perfect, and it makes him crazy. And every time I bring those pulls home, he's like, "What is this?"
I'm tempted. Right. I can't decide if I want to paint these little feet.
I'm gonna go up around the edge with this dark, where the little bit of paint is showing, just to kind of blend the edges with the top here.
So yeah, the chicken tray turned out amazing. I also think this little metal tray is gonna look good too.
All right, you wanna show them this up close and then you can start working on your music note one? This
yeah,
one, we'll do the same. If I don't get to it on the live, we're gonna be doing the same edges on the chicken tray.
Here, that just needs some heat and another layer of... So once you sand it, if you have a little bit of wrinkles, like you guys can't even see the wrinkles, and if anything, it just added a fun texture on there when we sanded it. Like you can kind of see it in the red stripe.
All the bird cages? What bird cages, Caitlin? Are you talking about the bird, the chicken? I don't know. The big black bird cage from Saturday, it did not sell, but I don't know. Oh, this shirt. I'm gonna look. Sorry guys, I'm gonna look for that graphic tee for Denise real quick.
All right. Okay, I need the heat gun. This one's a little more dry. Actually, I think I'll just wait. Oh, see? These ones from that you order don't have screws. I'm gonna have to go see if I can hunt down some tiny little screws.
Sorry about that.
And they're also curved, so hold on. That might be tricky. Don't forget to talk while you're looking for something.
All right, I'll talk and look. Spring graphic tee collection. I think it's here because I think they put them all in one. Yes, I found it. All right, I'm gonna share that for you right now, Miss Denise. Okay, and then I'll get back to talking. Okay. All right, Caitlin listed the bird cage that is still for sale, and I just listed the graphic tee. Okay, so I'm going to heat gun this while Zeb goes and grabs screws. And then I think I'm gonna wet distress the edges on this. And then we'll see what we do next. I'm gonna show it to you as is. Now the top coat is dry, and it's cute the way that it is, but I like to bring out that dark detail underneath. I guess I should dry the edges too. When you're wet distressing, the longer your paint has to dry, the harder you gotta work to wet distress, so just keep that in mind.
So if you guys watched the video, oh, it's probably been 2 weeks. The boys organized all my screws for me. Look at that. Tiny little screws.
It only cost a pack of magic cards?
Yeah, it cost me like 30 bucks.
Oh.
It was like the big pack for the year.
They knew what they were getting when they negotiated that.
It's okay. They worked for a good while doing other stuff. So we wanted to see how big these were. So edge to edge, they are 4 1/4 inches wide and 1.5 inches on the depth here. And then the inside of the pool is 3.5 for, fits a good, I mean, it fits really comfortably on my hand.
So I'm just using water. You have to use paint that's water soluble to wet distress. So if you're using like a spray paint or like a latex, it's not gonna do this. But DIY paint, the Sweet Pickens Milk paint, it's all water soluble. There's a lot of products that are, you just have to make sure you're working with the right one and you can wet distress it so the detail comes through without having to use sandpaper. And if you sand metal, many times what happens is you get shiny because it goes through the paint and get straight to the shiny part underneath, and that's not what I want this to do.
All right, so I'm just bending this a little bit because I've got a rounded surface, and I want those screws to kind of go in at an angle. Hopefully that'll help. It wasn't very hard to bend at all.
Sometimes I like to find the dry part of my rag or paper towel and wipe back where I'm wet distressed, because sometimes the paint just gets milky, and so I don't get as clean of a distress.
All right, so I've got silver screws and looks like oiled rubbed bronze screws. We're gonna go with the oil rubbed bronze.
I've also been known to use a Sharpie over a screw. Don't underestimate
Yeah, if
the
you've
power.
got like a really bright, shiny screw head poking out of your project, put a little dab of paint, or, you know, Sharpie will work.
Paint is also good, but sometimes paint isn't handy, so you gotta use you gotta get scrappy. Crafting is, you know, 50% being prepared and 50% thinking on your feet. For me, it's more like 25% prepared, 75% thinking on my feet. I'm generally live when I'm crafting, and I'm generally not too excited.
That's kind of a trick, screwing this down into this round surface on an angle.
All right, so I'm definitely going to dark wax the edge of this. I'll show it to you guys before I do.
All right, well that's on there. We're committed.
Distressed it a little bit. You're committed. That's cool. Are you gonna, when that's all the way dry, are you gonna distress it a little bit and wax it?
Yep. I think it needs some distressing.
Yeah, distressing is good. And
Here,
we're working small sections.
You see it there? There's too much stuff in the background.
Oh, that's way good.
We'll have to set it up by the fireplace and take a pic.
Yeah. So I'm doing just a little bit at a time, guys. Easy does it. And I'm using a stencil brush because when I'm doing detail like this, it's just a little bit easier to get the detail I want without putting wax where I don't want it. And I will probably, now that I've distressed it, do one more coat of the top coat over the top of the middle, just to kind of make sure that it's all the way down there. You don't want that popping up later. It's really great to try out new stuff on things that were essentially free or garbage, because then if you do mess up, it's really not a big deal.
Yeah, you feel less sad.
You feel less
if it's not like a family heirloom.
Yeah, don't. I inevitably will get that. I just got my grandmother's bedroom set and I've never painted anything before. Do you have any tips? And I'm like, yeah, start on something else.
Paint a nightstand that you got free off the side of the road.
That's probably not your best. Because even if you could do it, you'll be nervous the whole time, and then you're not able to just go through the motions of it. If you wanted it to be less dirty looking, you could just use that top coat over the whole piece. And then when you put the dark wax on, it's easier to rub more off. You can also come back with clear wax and pull off some of the dark wax, but I kind of wanted a moody falooty look there.
Oh, that's looking good.
Yeah, I think it brings out all the detail of the piece itself.
Are you gonna dark wax the edges of
Oh,
the
yeah.
paper over there?
Yeah. So I'm just gonna finish doing this piece and then I'll do that one. How are we on time?
We're over.
Oh, well, that's pretty usual.
Time to go.
Time to go.
Time
Back
to feed
the
me
shop.
some lunch.
Ooh, lunch and then.
Well, we'll call it brunch. It's a little early. It's 11 here. Okay. I'm gonna angle the camera up so you guys can see that, since we're not really working down on the thing anymore.
I picked up a antique dresser that I think we'll do next week, because people have been asking us to decoupage furniture. And I think I paid like $60 for it, which is a pretty good price. And it's like an armoire, so it's got a big flat surface, so I think it'd be fun to decoupage.
All right, so got these decoupaged. I'm not gonna probably do it on camera because they're still pretty wet. I'm just gonna let them dry, and then I'll hit them with some sandpaper. And for the most part, it's on there pretty good.
And more white paint on the bottom.
Yeah, it folded over a little bit. I can do that right now. It folded over just a little bit on some of the parts because obviously this is more narrow than this thick part here. So the paper wanted to wrap around it weird, but I feel like it worked out. You can still see the music notes really well on there.
Jami needs an X-Acto knife. Oh, no.
We have those. She's not allowed to use them.
I'm not what you would call delicate. I know you're shocked at that. Butter knife is more my speed.
So she used, like a utility knife quite a bit, and inevitably about once a day she'd cut herself somewhere with one.
When I was doing more of the shipping.
When we were doing the house, and yeah, shipping too.
When I was doing more of the shipping for the home website, yeah.
When she was box making,
Yeah.
every day she'd have like 3 Band-Aids on her hand.
So while I'd like to think that I'm good at that, I'm not. It's good to know your strengths and your not strengths. All right. Now I feel like this looks like an old, awesome, oops, upside down. There you go. I like it.
It does look cool.
All right, let's see this chicken one. Do you want to show them that one?
I'll show them. I'll go parade all of them. You tell them bye while I parade.
All right, guys. So if you want to pick up the paper, you can go to jamirayvintage.com. If you would like the hardware or to purchase these items, that's jrvhome.com. Give us until tomorrow to get these items listed. If you just can't wait, you can email info@jamirayvintagehome.com, and Caitlin will give you pricing and information on them, but we will have them listed at least by tomorrow's Stay at Home Shopping Network. I hope this inspires you guys to look at your junk in a whole new way and think of ways that you can transform it and save it from being thrown away. So be sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to Jami Ray Vintage for more
DIY.
Love you guys. Thanks for joining us.